Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Popcorn Watchlist podcast, where we discuss and celebrate our favorites in TV and film. I am your host, Xavier, and today is actually a day in October, which, if you are a sports fan, is a pretty special time because this is when the baseball postseason is going on. And don't worry, this is going to be about movies, but I was inspired by this time of the year to bring up some of, I guess, my favorite and the favorites of the rest of my fellow panelists, baseball movies. A lot of these we saw as kids, but then we may have gone back and seen some of the more like adult drama ones. But without further ado, we'll get into some of that list. And by the end of the episode, if we had not mentioned some of your favorites or maybe another you consider a classic, we'd love to get your opinions and voice your favorites over on all our social media platforms. But before we get into it, I'm going to introduce my fellow Popcorn Watchlist panelists. We've got Danny.
What's up?
Anthony.
How you doing?
And Zach.
Going
right into it.
Where's Zach? What? That's just the referee we have here.
Is that just ham porter? Perfect. So that's thank you, Zach, actually, for bringing that up, because we got to talk about the first one, and probably like our collective, one of our collective favorites. It's really the one that everyone's seen. It's none other than The Sandlot. And this movie has, through just pure nostalgia, like has lived forever. And heroes get remembered, but legends never die, because this movie is a legend. It's too good. It has everything. It's like the perfect summer movie. It's an amazing sports movie. 4th of July movie. I think
maybe that's when we last talked about it.
Yeah.
4th of July movies.
Like this whole time we were
talk about it again.
We were like conceptualizing this, and Zach's like, I know we've talked about The Sandlot before. I was like, well, this is the perfect excuse to watch it and talk about it again. But yeah, it's definitely like a 4th of July movie. It's got everything. Like, it's got comedy, it's got heart. It's
got dogs.
It's got,
big dog.
Big doggy. Yeah.
S'mores.
It's got
and Smalls.
Urban legends of forever. It's got teen hijinks and Squints faking drowning just to make out with the hot lifeguard. It's got James Earl Jones, which, rest in peace, because at the timing of filming and recording of this episode, the late great James Earl Jones has now passed. Honestly, like, small role, but one of my personal favorites. Especially that part where he's just like, if you knocked this ball over, you could have just walked over and asked how to get it for you. And everybody just turns around and just throws all their mitts at Squints, and he's just like, but I don't know, man, he's gonna kill us or something. I don't know. They go through everything just to try to get the ball back. Sandlot's one of my personal favorites, but I've named down some fun stuff. Any other, Zach, some of your fun favorite moments from The Sandlot?
Well, I mean, you kind of like...
No, I missed some. I missed some on purpose. Really? Yeah, dude.
Tequila.
Yeah.
The whole scene when they're at the carnival, and they all take the freaking chewing tobacco, and then they all vomit afterward.
Oh, yeah.
That was nasty. But
what about when the other Little League team comes over and they challenge him to a game?
You play ball like a girl.
Oh, yeah, because they were playing for... the rights to play on The Sandlot, right? I can't remember. They were just showing up as like, oh, you're not allowed to play on the field. It's been a couple years since
and like basically like the preppy actual Little League team challenged them, and the main kid is like, oh, except for Benny here, you're all a bunch of losers who are a disgrace to the game, and they end up like whooping them senseless. But the part where you have Porter as catcher, and he's just like razzing every player known to man. It's like, if I save my dog's butt and have him walk backwards, it kind of reminded me of like, this is like your sister or something. He's like, dude, shut up! And then he just swings out, and he's like, oh, that's strike 3, you're out. Or like, here comes the heater, you're not gonna be able to hit it. Told you. And just complete, like, it made me think of like, man, I don't know if I would ever have like tough enough skin to play and have a catcher just like completely just destroying you verbally while you're trying to like concentrate on the ball. Like, that's rough. But no, there are a couple other moments too.
Well, I was just looking before we head on. We last talked about it July 8th of 2022. That was our 4th of July movies episode.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. 2.5. Almost 2.5.
And it felt like we just did.
Yeah, I felt like we did it either this year or last year, but man, 2 years? No.
Folks, time flies.
I'm sure we spoke about it again recently. We just don't remember.
But,
I'm sure we did.
Like I said, it's always a good excuse to talk about the Sandlot again. Anthony, any other moments that I might have missed?
I mean, definitely for kids our age, 90s kids, like that was one of these staple movies that I watched a lot, and I always really liked just the scene at the end with him putting on the shoes and like racing beating the dog around the city.
PF Flyers, right? That's the name of the. Yeah, that's the name of the.
Of course, You're Killing Me Smalls every time.
What's a s'more? How can I have s'more or anything if I didn't have it? That's perfect.
Killing Me Smalls.
Or Smalls' hat. I remember having that wild fishing hat. Remember when he first plays with him, and then Benny gives him another hat? He's like, "Hey, here's that old hat." He says, "Hey, do you have a fireplace?" All right, cool. Take the hat, throw it in there. I was like, "Holy damn!" He just completely no shame. Like, get that hat out of here. And what's funny because because you notice that hat is worn, or it's like there by Smalls when he's now the broadcaster. Like he still has the hat, I think, like in his little mini office there, which was like a cool little if you pay attention to it, you're like, oh wow, see, it is him older and seeing Benny playing for the Dodgers, and it's pretty cool stuff. Danny, anything else before we starts pretty strong, but. Love to bring it.
Just going through because I haven't seen the movie in a long time.
2 years.
But
yeah, like 2 years.
I always just remember the pool scene.
The pool scene, yeah. This magic moment. Yeah,
that was fun.
We were banned for life that day. They have 9 kids. I always heard the epilogue for everybody.
I like the narrator moments.
Yeah,
those are fun.
Every time you feel like I got us into the biggest pickle of all time. I remember watching it now in adult, like all the whole build up, and you're like, holy crap, the whole build up. The fact that he doesn't know who Babe Ruth is, like some lady signed it for him. Baby Ruth
Bambino.
The great. I thought you made that stupid deer. It's like what? What? And they get so pissed off. They try to jump over and they have what always is hilarious is the fake paw, the fake paw that grabs the ball over and just
anytime they try to get the ball, all the little contraptions or all the little these
the erector sets
plans that they try to grab the ball and everything.
I think the wildest one was the vacuum one, dude. I was like, something's gonna blow up, and I remember seeing, I was like, it got me scared of vacuums forever. It's like, oh, if you pinch the wire or if you pinch the tube, it's done. You're out of here. But yeah, I think if somebody wants to see a movie about baseball and not have to be too concerned with the game itself and see more about what baseball can do, most good sports movies, especially as kids sports movies do, is bring people together. The Sandlot's the perfect example for that. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, it's still on Disney Plus. So again, if you want to just are inspired or possessed by the ghost of Babe Ruth to watch that movie again, go ahead and catch it. I think on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it is.
Because is it a Fox movie?
I think it is.
I think so.
I think it is. So they own it. It's mine now.
Yeah, it's 20th century. So yeah,
money gives me everything. Speaking of kids sports movies, kids baseball movies that really that also are a little fantastical but still pretty awesome. Another one that comes to mind because just the sheer ridiculousness of the premise is none other than Rookie of the Year.
I think that's my personal favorite one.
Really? Okay, I want to hear why.
I don't know what it is about it. I think as a kid, watching it as a kid, and I watched it multiple times. I guess I enjoyed it. It had I guess 90s kind of cheesy
humor,
humor, comedy humor. And the idea of a kid playing the major leagues because of a broken arm.
Yeah,
I think was kind of
Did you try to break your arm?
I always
But you were
wondered,
young.
Dude,
I
always
broke my
wondered.
arm when I was 4, but that didn't happen.
Your tendon didn't fuse to the rest of like the biceps tendon didn't fuse to the rest of the arm, and then creates like a winch or like a tight winch and just throws 103 mile an hour fastball. Oh my god! Like that whole bit that's amazing when they take the cast off. And it's like, what's wrong with your arm? And then he's at the doctor's office. I can't.
There are times like like to lift up the arm, rotate it, and then like rotate
The sound
shoulder.
effect every time he'd move his arm was like.
It's like a winch or like a whole winch lever system that's like winding up.
And then he does like the shoulder thing, and then his arm kind of like, and it smacks the doctor. In
Not
the face.
kinda, like it just completely snaps like 180 degrees forward and smacks the doctor. in the
Funky
nose.
butt loving.
Ah, funky butt loving. Oh my god!
Did you just say funky butt lover?
He just say funky, but his best friend's like, he just say funky butt loving. He's like, I'll be right back, and he's just holding on to his nose.
Oh, it seems like the tendons may have fused a little too, or may have healed a little too
tightly. That's a little too tight there.
And then,
And then he plays for the Cubs.
well, my favorite.
At that point, because the Cubs are like garbage still. Like this isn't a few years back where the Cubs finally broke the curse and won a World Series. So
Parks and Rec predicted
it. Yep. Shout out to Parks and Rec. But they decide like, hey, this kid's so wild that we're just gonna like break normal rules and any type of suspend. Help make sure you suspend all disbelief, and we're going to give this kid a 1-year contract because what else can we do? What are we gonna lose, right? Like you have a Gary Busey as like a about to retire pitcher. The Rocket. Daniel Stern, who's funny enough, is also the director. He's what's his name from Home Alone and Home Alone 2? Marv. He's also, I forget the character's name in City Slickers, but yeah, Zach, today, thanks to Zach, today I learned that Daniel Stern directed Rookie of the Year. That is insane.
and he plays like the wackiest like pitching coach.
Is he? Yeah, he's a wacky
batting coach.
Is he a batting coach? Yeah, I forgot if he's a pitching coach or
He's-
batting coach.
Oh, I think he's a pitching coach. I think he is the pitching coach.
He might be.
Even though there's a scene where he goes up to bat, but I think it's I guess like to give like a coaching it to the pitcher. But I think he was the pitching coach.
Yeah, like he was basically like giving. Yeah, he would always like give him advice or like try to like help him, like through some stuff.
He's always eating something.
Yeah.
And then choking
Brickma.
on it, like sunflowers.
Yeah.
Brickma.
Oh.
There we go.
Yeah. Brigma. Come
Brickma
on up.
what?
Yeah. Brigma what? But the best is what was the name of the head coach? God, the head coach is the best.
Garden Hoser.
Garden Hoser.
Garden
I
Hoser.
always say his last name wrong.
I was just about to say because I pulled up the list.
I did
He was like Rutabaga.
I love how they mispronounce his name all the time.
And then he gets it right at the end. And he's like,
Yeah.
he just.
Rowan Gardner. He's like, you're up. What? Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. Like it was. So yeah, he was. He was a pitching coach.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it was a pitching. Okay.
Yeah, movie's great. Like
Yeah,
even
another 90s staple.
I think 93. I think is when. Yeah, 93 was when it came out.
Yep.
So already 31 years old.
I think they did
Oh my god.
Anthony
That's
with
the
the back
lower
pain.
back. That's the lower back.
1993, everybody. 31 years old. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
31.
And that kid was an American Pie. Oh my god. Oh.
Yep. Everything hurts. Thomas Ian Nicholas. Yeah, dude. It's
They did a 30-year anniversary at the Cubs stadium
Nice.
that's right.
That's
or
cool.
field. Cubs.
At Wrigley Field?
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the Cubs. Yeah, dude. That's
I went there once.
That was another one. Yeah, I've been to Wrigley too. Wrigley's great.
Oh man.
Like,
I want to go.
Not inside.
And I wanted to go
outside.
because of that movie.
I've
I was
been
like, oh, I
inside.
want to go to that field.
I've been inside. And Wrigley's great. Like, I went to during like an afternoon game. there were way too many people there. I was like, dude, how many people
It's like a
decided?
Tuesday.
Hey, yeah, I was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and I was like, I don't work today. Like hey, I'm leaving early and going to the Cubs game because they were playing their division rivals, the Cardinals. So it's like, yeah, you know, and I was taking the subway and the train over
Because it's right on the
off the and
above ground train.
correct. And as I was getting closer and closer, you'd see like more and more people start filling up, and it's
for
all
the game. Yeah.
blue and white, all blue and white, and like you had some people
I
on
have
another
a
train
Cubs shirt
in
that I
red
actually
and
bought,
white.
like on the corner store there by the field.
It's cool going to some of those old like
And
popular
this is an
like
old stadium,
baseball fields and stadiums that
and it's still Wrigley Field, right? They haven't changed the name because they've had that name for a long time. Wrigley, everyone that doesn't know, is the company that makes gum, chewing gum.
yeah.
So if you have, yeah, so a lot of I don't know what brands fall under Wrigley, but I think like Hubba Bubba or like
Hubba Bubba.
like Trident or something, like some of those, right, are
Trident.
are Wrigley branded ones.
It's like, dude,
Some of them might also be like other brands that I can't remember. I don't know, but
yeah,
bubble gum.
it's still like one of the oldest ballparks like in existence still. But yeah, many different depictions of the Chicago Cubs. Sorry. This movie, yeah, Rookie of the Year is one of those where like, you know, it did it in the sense of like, hey, how do you still bring up that, you know, the Cubs are kind of a semi, you know, at that point still like a losing team, but how do we make a fun situation out of this? And, you know, thus Rookie of the Year was born. Great movie. Danny, where's the streaming?
And this is the one with John Candy as the announcer, right?
oh
The
yes,
game announcer?
he's
Which
great.
that's
again
great.
is like that's a whole thing too. Like him being
his opening scene where he's like, and the whole kit and caboodle and the whole and the whole
he technically goes as uncredited. And what's wild is Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonilla
oh yeah, some legendary
are in there too.
Pre Marlins Bonilla or post?
No.
Probably pre.
This is
Yeah.
93, so, yeah.
Did Bonilla ever play in the
And then
World?
Barry
I think
Bonds
so.
was shown
Yeah.
playing for
Yeah, they
'cause
helped
he
win.
was in the
in the World
97.
Series. Yeah,
I don't know if Barry Bonds was
and then you
shown
went to the Mets, and then you have Bobby Bonilla Day.
the Giants. I can't remember.
Okay, funny story.
He strikes out. He strikes out.
Barry Bonds.
Barry
right?
Bonds. Is it Barry Bonds?
And Bobby Bonds, I
And
think.
Ken Griffey's not in that movie.
No, he's
right?
not.
That's another movie.
Yeah, but fun fact: we were talking about the fact that we had actual baseball players in Rookie of the Year. So Bobby Bonilla, if you ever want to look up Bobby Bonilla Day, it's a pretty ridiculous situation where every day, basically, there was a contract that was made with Bobby Bonilla. They still owed him a whole bunch of money, but the problem is they would defer payment for a longer time. But that deferred payment was part of like the whole Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme, and the 10% returns and everything was way too much on the interest that was on it. So it ended up making more and more money that the Mets have to hemorrhage. So that basically every July 1st is when those payments go to Bobby Bonilla, and he's no longer like had been with the with the Mets until
He hasn't played baseball.
and hasn't played
in a long
baseball
time.
since 2002 or whatever it was. And he still gets
getting
paid
paid.
until 2035.
It's a good paycheck.
It's-
What's the amount? It's a pretty good amount too.
The total payout was 29.8 million. So they basically like it's split up between it's like $500,000 a year for 25 years.
That's
Another
good deal,
deferred.
man.
That's another deferred contract. Long story short,
That's a good deal.
Bobby Bonilla won out because of Bernie Madoff's Ponzi schemes. Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Every July 1st, I would see it on my feeds. It's the funniest thing ever. Yeah, fun fact. Speaking of fun facts, we're going to move over to another movie.
Before you
Before we
go, just to answer the question from before, it is streaming on Disney Plus again.
Oh,
Nice. See,
I think the last time I watched it, I did
Yeah.
watch it on Disney Plus.
Disney's got 2 of the 3.
And if in case you don't have Disney Plus, you could also watch it on Tubi.
Is it on Disney, or is it on Disney Plus through Hulu?
I think just regular
Let me see
Disney
now.
Plus. Because I remember watching it before
Disney
they
Plus.
started
Okay.
adding Hulu stuff on there. Because this was already after, like, obviously with the Fox merger. Because it is
No,
a
for
Fox
sure.
movie, I think, as well. So it's 2 Fox movies.
Yeah. And so third one, I'm talking about going from rookies of the year to angels in the outfield. That's another one of these like
Pretty much all the
fantastic
baseball movies I
movies.
watched when I was a kid.
Yeah, Angels in the Outfield featuring extremely young Joseph Gordon-Levitt, poor foster kid who's basically hoping for his dad to come back and take him out of foster care.
And
But
who's
his dad was kind of a dick
The guy from my best friend's wedding.
and still kind of a dick. No, I'm serious. The guy's like
Dermot Mulroney, I think is his name.
Dermot Mulroney.
Yeah.
Damn, was it really Dermot Mulroney?
Yeah, that's his dad.
So, premise of Angels in the Outfield. If you've
Danny
never,
Glover.
whew, before we get to the cool,
Not Donald Glover's dad.
No, still not. I don't know why people
A
still
lot
do
of
that.
big names in this movie.
Yeah, dude. If you look at the cast of Angels in the Outfield, you go, "Oh wow, look at that." There's a lot
I
of
didn't
people. in
even know
this.
Adrian Brody was in this movie.
Not only Adrian Brody, Tony Danza, obviously Christopher Lloyd.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yes, Neil McDonough and Matthew McConaughey.
Really
I
quickly,
remember.
back to Rookie of the Year. Isn't the janitor from Scrubs in Rookie of the Year?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Yep, dude, that guy's great. He's freaking awesome. But
Is that Stan Oki? That guy.
yeah, is that Stan Oki?
Yeah, what a cast this movie.
Angels in the Outfield, yeah, man. You gotta believe. Like that was before Parappa the Rapper. You gotta believe. That was so basically going back to why poor Roger's actual real father is a real douchebag is because the whole premise of the movie is his dad says, "Oh, I'll be able to get you if or be able to get you out of foster care when the Angels win the pennant," which basically means
Knowing that they're never gonna
win because they're a terrible
What
trash
a
team.
Terrible father.
I was like, dude, this is terrible. Like, basically saying that they have to win their divisional championship in order to, go through it. And it's just like, dude, that's not going to happen. But he ends up praying one day for the Angels to start winning so that his dad can come back to him. And you have Al comes through with the rest of his squad of Angels and helps Roger get the team back, and you start seeing some really wild, fanatical stuff. And coach played by Danny Glover is basically like recruits the kid, and to be like, "Hey, you gotta give me a sign whenever the Angels show up." And he does the whole waving of the arms thing, and because you gotta believe. And yeah, dude, too many good people in this movie, and like the foster care worker, the social worker is the lady from Home Alone 2.
The bird lady.
The bird lady, Brenda Fricker. So, and then again, another Disney movie. So you already know it's on Disney Plus.
Yep.
You already know.
3 for 3.
Yep.
I don't think we did not plan that.
No, we didn't. I swear we didn't. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of good people in this movie, and it's one of those really good feel good movies too. That like, it's definitely a movie of its time, and it's also technically a remake. From like there's the original version from like way back, but this was like a Disney remake, and this one became like the more famous version of it, especially with this like before they were super famous A-listers, like cast of like we said Matthew McConaughey, Adrian Brody, Neil McDonough should be in more things. That's just me kind of putting that on the record. So I don't think. Wait, Zach, you haven't seen Angels in the Outfield, right?
I did many years ago as a kid.
Okay.
But I haven't seen it recently, so I vaguely remember much about it. Like the whole the sign that you were saying. When you said it, I'm like, oh, okay, that's right. I remember that. He's like
The flapping of the wings. Yeah.
It could happen.
And like Matthew McConaughey playing outfield and he keeps flying. I was like, how is he doing that? Because you gotta believe. And then Tony Danza's like the kind of like the grizzled veteran on the team. He's Mel
The pitcher, right?
Yeah, Mel Clark. That's a good movie. I forgot the name of the
94, man.
Yeah,
All these
94.
90s movies.
I mean, all of these came out like
Yeah, these are
Right after each other.
right after each other,
I
and
feel
they're
like-
all totally like different.
Sandlot was what year?
Sandlot was 93 or 92?
Sandlot was 93.
93.
Rookie of the Year was 93.
90s had so
90s
many
had
sports movies.
a lot of sports specific
like-
sports movies,
like
but a lot of
Space-
baseball
Space
movies.
Angels,
Jam.
Angels.
Rookie of the Year was also 93, and then Angels
94.
in the outfield 94.
No, there were quite a lot of baseball, like specifically baseball movies that came out in the 90s too. But
And then the next one
which leads us into the next one. Which one?
is in 92.
Exactly. This is actually one of my personal favorites of all time. Like The Sandlot always, like, in my house, we have we can't bring up a discussion of which one of these two movies is better, because there will actually be heated arguments that, someone's feelings will get hurt. I am speaking of none other than A League of Their Own from 1992, starring Lori Petty, Gina Davis, Madonna, Rosie O'Donnell, and Tom Hanks. This movie is awesome. It actually tells the story of a women's baseball league that was made during World War II while the men were out fighting. And so this guy who basically owned a candy bar company, he funded money to have people go watch women's baseball. Problem is, it wasn't making a lot of money, and so the way the movie is kind of framed is that they go recruiting throughout the country to find women who can play baseball. They try to do a mix of women who are visually attractive and women who legitimately know how to play. And it turns out, Gina Davis has both, but she doesn't want to go. But her younger sister is a pitcher, and she really loves baseball, but they don't really see anything with her. And she's like, no, I'm not going to go unless you bring my sister too. So then her name is Dottie Henson, and then her younger sister, Kit. So that's Gina Davis and Lori Petty. They decide to jump on a train and get themselves over to Chicago. And the whole league is set within the Midwest. That's where they meet Rosie O'Donnell and Madonna's characters from New York. And they basically get put on a team together. The Rockford Peaches, which is an actual team. All these teams were actual real baseball teams. And you have a great kind of cool feel-good story. And what's fun is that the team is coached by a former baseball player who got injured and now is a functioning alcoholic. I forget the name of his character, but it's played by none other than Tom Hanks, just as he was getting super duper famous.
Jimmy Dugan.
Jimmy Dugan, yes. Jimmy Dugan. Dude, there's so many little things in this movie that are great. Zach, you have not seen this one, right?
Nope.
No, you should.
Never even heard of it.
You need to watch
I
it. It's
haven't.
really good. Danny, you also haven't seen it, right?
It's a fun movie.
Do you remember? So I'm going to throw this up to Anthony, and because these guys are going to be like, who the hell is he talking about? Do you remember the one player that she has, her little kid, Stillwell? The kid who's always high on chocolate bars and running around the bus and just messing around with everybody?
Yeah, I remember the character, but I don't remember who it is.
No, you don't remember who it is. I'm just saying that the little kid, that kid, how annoying that little kid was.
Yes.
He's just running around. He's this. I remember as a kid wanting to punch that kid.
Oh, I thought you were I wanted to be that kid.
No, I want to punch. No, I wanted to annihilate that kid. I'm just this kid is so annoying. Stillwell, honey, and they're yeah, and hey, you want some more chocolate? He's gimme. And then there was one point where I think somebody threw a mitt at his face and he kind of was crying, but then everybody started laughing at him, or I think even Jimmy Dugan was laughing at him too. It's good job. Especially because he kept heckling his own mom's team. He's you're gonna lose, you stink, and then they threw something at him. And that's the same time where his mom was crying, and that's where you get the iconic, "Are you crying? There's no crying in baseball." And oh yeah, John Lovitz is in this movie too. But there's so many iconic scenes in this movie, guys. You gotta watch it. It's I don't want to say a whole lot because I don't want to spoil a lot of the really cool moments. But also if this is one other little piece of oh wow, a lot of these random people are in this movie. The President of the United States of America is in this movie. From Independence Day.
Oh, I thought you were the current
Bill
one?
Pullman. No.
Our
Bill
current president?
Pullman. No, Bill Pullman is in this movie. Yeah, the movie's great. There's a lot of little small moments, the part where they're out because they're supposed to be chaperoned and supervised and chaperoned, but they go out and the teenager kid's trying to hit on Dottie. And he's you want to make a man out of me? She's what? Oh. Kid, how old are you? It's just she's dude,
old
get
enough.
Yeah, he goes, how old are you? Yeah, it's he's can you drive? He's I can start somewhere. And then, movie's great. It's just when you watch the movie, you go, oh wow, that person's here. Hey, look, it's the guy who says Jesus Christ is Jason Bourne, or like, yeah, like he's in that movie too. Like, it's awesome. I think you can.
Who, Strathairn or
David Strathairn? Yeah, I think you can rent it right now on Prime.
It's not on Disney Plus.
You think,
No.
right? No, we broke the
It's not
streak.
streaming anywhere.
Yeah, you can watch it at my house on Blu-ray and DVD because the movie's awesome.
In the middle of the street.
Our house. Speaking of our
And
house.
sorry to break the streak again. The next one is also not streaming anywhere. Only
Which
renting.
it
That's a shame.
should be because this movie is legit really good. I remember watching it. Did we watch it in LA, Anthony?
Yes.
Okay, cool. We're talking about none other than the biopic of holy crap, my brain fart. Jackie Robinson. So we're watching 42. The late great Chadwick Boseman played Jackie Robinson, basically his journey of playing for the Dodgers. And he gets signed by Brooklyn, and you know how a lot of the racism he experienced during the time, and it was basically a big risk by Branch Rickey, the owner of the Dodgers, which is played by Harrison Ford. Really awesome. But like the one dude, I remember the one. If you guys haven't seen this movie, the one actor that really stands out, that is like holy crap, he's going really in, is Alan Tudyk. He plays the very controversial baseball player
that's
Ben
right.
Chapman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on record for being just a wildly and openly racist. Like, there's no way about it. It's just like, that's just the time. I was like, yeah, but the time was racist. But Alan Tudyk went in on that, man. Like, I think he's even done interviews in the past, like having to play like a controversial character and how that went through, and the same thing with Chadwick playing Jackie himself, like the kind of stuff he went through, and how it was kind of like a really iconic role. But I think this movie really put him on the map. It's a really awesome movie. I think again you can rent it on Prime, and if you watch the movie, you'll realize again a lot of other really good people are in this movie. Obviously, we mentioned three people already, but you have Christopher Maloney of Law and Order fame. You have Lucas Black from the best Fast and the Furious movie.
9?
No, shut up. We talk about Tokyo Drift. Hamish Linklater, who was in Midnight Mass, was pretty popular for that. John C. McGinley.
He's also in Newsroom.
That's right, he is in Newsroom. I'm trying to see who else was in this. Brett Cullen's in like low key in in like so many other like small movies. I say Brett Cullen as I'm showing the picture of Anthony. He goes, "Oh, I know that guy." Like this dude, like he's been in a whole bunch of random stuff.
Goodwin from Lost.
Goodwin from Lost, exactly. See, like I'm struggling to see everything in there, but
He was also in Dark Knight Rises.
oh yeah. But before I get ahead of myself there, Danny or Zach, neither of you have seen 42 either, right?
No.
I have.
Okay.
I saw it in 2021. I saw it after Chadwick passed. But,
That makes sense.
I was going through some of his movie catalog other than Marvel.
Yeah.
And I actually enjoyed this one a lot. It was really good.
You watched that other movie about bridges in New York?
21
Bridges?
I saw
Yeah.
that one.
I remember that one too.
Yeah, I think I saw this one and 21 Bridges like back
After-
to back because I was going through some of his
That
movies.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a little string of movies where he was just doing like biopics, because he did Get On Up, which was James Brown movie,
Brown. Yeah.
and then he did Marshall, which is about Thurgood Marshall.
That was that was pretty back to back
all
to
those were
back.
good.
Yeah.
Although that 21 Bridges movie came out like in 2019, which was after Marvel.
Yeah. It was already like, hey, he's big, so the
Yeah.
studio who made it is like, yes, we can go
Well,
in.
I think the Russo brothers produced it. Maybe they directed it, but I know they produced it.
21 Bridges?
Yeah.
Huh, okay. Cool. I forgot who wrote the next one. I remember. Yes, that's why. I remember this. So this next one was co-written by Aaron Sorkin, and it's based off a book, The Art of Winning an Unfair Game. and I want to credit the other writers. So it's Michael Lewis's book. The story was conceptualized by Stan Chervin, and the screenplay was also written by Steven Zalian. And that is none other than Moneyball, starring Brad Pitt, and again, a crap ton of other A-list heavy hitters.
Cast.
I think I remember it was
Chris
Jonah
Pratt.
Hill in that one too. I think.
Jonah Hill, Chris Pratt.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, Robin Wright. This is another one of those like stacked movies, and I love the concept of the movie. This was around the time, and this is interesting. We bring up the Oakland A's, is because now Oakland is moving to Vegas, just like the Raiders for football.
Really?
Yeah, the A's are moving to Vegas. Fun fact, and I'm gonna hopefully this isn't too personal or anything, but you were just in Vegas. So you know where the Tropicana is? They had just recently demolished it. That's where the new baseball stadium is going to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
The hotel that they
demolished it right after I left.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You would have had an amazing view of that, like at 3 a.m.
I was gone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was that.
I don't know what day did they do
that.
it. What day did
I think it was the weekend before you went. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Or this past weekend.
I think it was before.
Okay. Well, if it was before, then I didn't see it. But
yeah, like it was demolished. When? Yeah, it was on the 9th.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it was like the weekend
already.
before. So anyway, yeah, so they're moving out to try to bring more people into Vegas to do other things. So anyway, long story short, yeah, the
More
Oakland
money,
A's-
more
yeah, more money.
No problem.
So this whole the premise of Moneyball is that somebody basically they try to use mathematics and statistics of how various players play. More so like playing to their strengths, just to try to basically win via statistics, not win through like talent or any extra stuff. Like it's just like
or perceived talent.
yeah, or perceived talent, or like scouted ability, or the other like things you can't quantify. Like they try to win the game of baseball just by sheer
Everything else.
quantitative numbers and stuff. And it's really cool. Like it has, you can tell you have Aaron Sorkin's like touch to it, just of the way dialogue flows, the way people talk, and like how scenes kind of go through. But it's a really interesting way of how like people think baseball is a lot of like tracking numbers and statistics, and this was like doing it to like the hyper ultimate level of like but to the point where it was at the team's fault. But it's a really well acted and well put together movie. It's not terribly like super duper long for you think a movie like this with a lot of dialogues and it'd be like 2 hours and 40 something minutes. It's like little over 2 hours, like 2 hours 13. But basically a whole bunch of number analysis and basically like trying to like dehumanize baseball by using the people going into it, like playing it. So it's really interesting. And yeah, like Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill, like are in a lot of scenes together, and they have great moments together.
Yeah, the one of the famous scenes of when he finally brings Jonah Hill into the meeting with all the older gentlemen that usually are like the scouters, and he's like, "All right, when I point to you, that's when you talk." And then pretty much he's telling all these guys like, "Guys, you've been doing it wrong all these years." And then
We're gonna try something else.
Jonah Hill's pretty much there telling them like, these guys get on base. Like they don't have the best batting average, but they get on base. And so they're picking all these random players, and then they're like, "Why are you picking this guy?" And he just points to Jonah Hill, like multiple times throughout that scene. He's like, "Because he gets on base."
Because he gets on base, yeah. And the statistic is like, yeah, but the guy can't field. He can barely catch a ball. Like he gets on base. Like they're just like
how do you get runs? By getting on base.
yeah.
That's
How do you get runs? And he's like, that's how we get through. And it's like, just like teams were struggling to like counter just the sheer like this person produces this number. Like they're just a raw resource in order to win the game. It made like I think Felix Seymour Hoffman plays the actual manager, like the head coach of the team, and he's just like, this is so like jacked up and foreign to him, but it's like working for the most part. Yeah, it's really great. We mentioned
Have you guys seen that movie, Moneyball?
yeah, like
No, Zach, you should watch it.
Zach has it. I think you'd like it a lot.
I think
Zach.
it's on Netflix.
It was on Netflix because I saw it while it was on
Okay.
Netflix.
Yeah, it was. I was gonna say the
But right now you gotta rent it.
yeah,
No,
it's
not Disney Plus.
It's not Disney Plus. It's a really good one, Zach. I recommend
It's
it.
a good drama.
What company made it?
Who made it?
Like what? Who was
Good company. Or bad company.
Bad Hat Harry. No, I'm kidding. That's not at all.
Maybe it's Paramount Plus.
No, it was like who was the producer? Sony Pictures.
Nope.
No streaming service.
Yeah,
Streaming
streaming.
service.
Not even
It might be
stars.
in some random place that
that
you
might
they receive money.
You might see it edited for television occasionally.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, like that's like one of the more like serious baseball films. Anthony in the past has mentioned something like Field of Dreams. If you want a couple other
Excellent.
also The Rookie is sort of like a feel good biopic about
Also Disney.
Yeah, that one is on Disney Plus. So that one's the story of Jim Morris, who at 35 gets recruited as a rookie in the big leagues. And then there's if you want some more fun. There's also Mr. 3000 starring the late great Bernie Mac. That's pretty great. Like he's already retired. He has his whole brand around, hey, I have 3,000 hits. Somebody goes back into the books and realizes, hey, these weren't actual hits. So he's now like 3 hits shy. So he gets brought back by his home team, original team to try to get the hits again. And he's old, he's out of shape, and it's a whole comedy about it and like how he gets along with the team and helps him, and they help him kind of get to it, and he learns to love the game again instead of just trying to write off of his old coattails.
There were some that I watched when I was younger. I probably shouldn't have because they were like little raunchy, rated R raunchy comedies,
Like
called Major League.
Oh yeah,
and Major League 2. But yeah, those are pretty funny. Those are entertaining with Charlie Sheen. There's actually a lot of people in those movies. I just can't remember.
Wesley Snipes.
Yes.
Who plays
Willie Mays Hayes?
Willie Mays Hayes. I forgot who plays the I don't know if the Hispanic dude, but that guy's like always like, I'm pretty sure he's like doing Santeria and everything
Dennis
else.
Haysbert,
Yeah,
another president from 24.
from 24. Yeah,
Allstate guy.
that's right. That movie's great. Yeah, Major League is awesome. That movie's basically about a team that is trying to basically be good in spite of their owners because the owners actually want to sell it. I think it was to some other city. I forgot where. But they want to sell the team, and they basically want to show them like, no, we're not, going to sell the team because we want to play here, and the crowd likes us. It's really cool. Last but not least, second to last but not least, because Danny has a secret one. But one of the other like super ultra iconic baseball movies is Bull Durham, another movie with Kevin Costner. That's basically like, it's got everything. I feel like it's quintessential baseball from like the point of view of like people who have played baseball and who have actually like had the interactions like on the field, off the field, and like what it means to be like a player in the game. It's a really fun story.
Another one that I saw came out 2001, pretty good, with Keanu Reeves, called Hardball. It's also a little sad, but I recommend it.
Yeah. Well, it's about basically Keanu Reeves' character trying to coach a team of kids that are on the wrong side of the fence, trying to help turn their lives around through baseball, which you see that a lot in sports movies, and it's cool to see that there's one in baseball. But swinging it back to some fun stuff, you also have like the old classic with Walter Matthau, Bad News Bears. Mm-hmm. That one, going back to the comedy stuff, like you can't talk about baseball without that.
And then they remade it too, right?
Yeah, they remade it, which wasn't too great
with Billy Bob
Thornton. Yeah, and then we mentioned Field of Dreams and the other like super like kind of serious, but like paying homage to the game, like would be The Natural with Robert Redford. That's another really good one too. So Robert Redford's always been this like classic, really good actor, and you want to see him in a baseball movie, The Natural is kind of like the magic spot for baseball. But last but not least,
and did you guys mention the Benchwarmers?
Oh yeah,
no, I
Benchwarmers.
didn't.
If you want to just do silly comedy,
that's another one with John Lovitz,
right? And that's Adam Sandler production movie, so you'll see the usual suspects.
The Squad.
Yeah.
From Adam Sandler.
Was that
movies.
before or after Happy Madison?
Like
It is a Happy Madison.
It's a Happy Madison production.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that one's wild and hilarious.
There's also a movie that came out in '96 called The Fan with Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes. That one's more of like a thriller. It's a baseball movie thriller, if that makes sense to you. But it's actually pretty good.
It's really good. It sounds strange. It's about like a very hyper like fanatical fan that's basically like forcing Wesley Snipes' character like to have the game of his life because like the stakes are really high. Like it's like some sinister stuff at the end, and you're like, dude, what the hell is he doing? But like the idea is, it's sort of like a weird, like he's putting him in like not a hostage situation, but it's like he needs to, appease Robert De Niro's character as the fan, like, that he's basically he's super obsessive, and he's just like, you got to do all this stuff, because you got to play the game because you're my favorite player, and you got to do all this stuff, and it's pretty freaky, but it's a good movie. You've got John Leguizamo, Benicio del Toro, Ellen Barkin's in it too.
Jack Black is in it.
Jack Black is randomly in this movie. Holy crap, that is random. But really?
Mm-hmm.
That again, guys. That blows my mind. But yeah, dude. Yep, broadcast technician. Thanks, IMDb. Yeah, movie's really cool. Kind of freaky, but really cool. But to close us out on a much lighter note, Danny, you have a personal favorite of yours you want to talk about when it comes to baseball, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Total
what
favorite.
Could that be?
And funny enough, it is on Disney Plus.
Was it like 5 for 8?
Yeah.
We got Air Bud.
Oh,
7th
boy.
inning fetch.
Oh my god! Like
Air Bud,
Wow.
the basketball dog movie.
the basketball golden retriever dog decides, hey, you know what's fun? Catching balls in the field.
And just in case, if you wanted to know what a dog would look like
Fetch.
wearing pants and a shirt,
You would watch
you would watch this one.
You would watch that.
That's poor dog actor.
That poor dog that have to wear an entire baseball kit
With a hat.
with the hat.
7th inning fetch.
That's not fair. Like
Damn
how
it,
does
man.
like that's it's actually not fair because like the dog runs faster than people, so he can play like 2 parts of the outfield. Like, but then if he catches it, how does he take the ball back? He can't throw it faster than he
Have
runs.
any of you seen it? Have any of you actually seen it?
Never. I've
probably
never
seen,
seen
like,
You just
a
saw that
single-
that it existed.
I remember
I've seen Air Bud for
originally
sure.
Air Bud
Yeah.
happening. I was like, oh, that's cute and adorable. And then like it started going into like the football. I was like, oh, this is happening. Okay.
Yeah, they have the football, soccer, baseball, and
Volleyball.
And then-
with Spike's back.
But like volleyball makes sense. And also that pun.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. If you can jump high enough, you can pop it up and then the person spikes it.
I mean, out of all of them, I guess soccer would make the most sense.
Yeah.
There's
Because
no
he's
way
not
he can
using-
his it that hard. There's no way he can
Yeah,
kick
but
the
he's
ball.
not
No, but he
using
can,
his, he has no
like-
hands.
Right. So he's just gonna use his snout? How is he gonna
He
Yeah.
uses paws too.
No, dude, you can't use your hands.
The thing about Arsenal is they always try to walk it in. He would play for Arsenal because he just walk it into the freaking goal.
I've only
So
seen the
stupid.
first one.
Same.
Oh,
I've only
man.
seen the first one. I've probably seen like a clip or like a trailer or something of it.
And then you probably
So
grown,
I
changed
just,
the channel.
I'm just kind of.
and
I think I'm
stopped.
more disappointed that like they were trying to be all cheeky and funny with like coming up with clever sub names like caption names,
Subtitles,
but they
yeah.
couldn't actually change. It just still had to be called Air Bud. Like it.
Yeah.
It only made sense because it was like Air Michael Jordan. Like so, like it only made sense
No,
for
guys,
the first one.
Guys, I don't think you
But then,
understand.
like,
Air
the rest of
Jordan.
them, like Air Buddies, the puppies.
Right.
No,
but,
but-
like it doesn't
no,
make sense with
that's
any
not-
of the other sports.
No, no, that's
Why
not
are you
the
gonna
thing.
call it Air
If
Bud
you
when you're
look-
talking about baseball?
if you look at
Maybe
the
volleyball.
if you look at the poster of Airbud 7th inning fetch, he holds a bat with his mouth and he
So
hits the ball.
he's Zorro from One Piece.
Yes.
Nice.
It's oh my god.
How does he? What
Yeah.
position does he play?
I don't know. He's a designated hitter. He's a designated hitter.
Maybe he's a pinch hitter.
And there's a raccoon.
He was the dog holding the sword before it was cool.
Oh my god. Exactly. No take, only throw. This is amazing.
Oh my gosh!
I know.
Is that the tagline?
No, that's
Oh.
me being
Oh, okay.
No, the tagline is literally 7th inning fetch. Like, oh.
Which is like that's fine. Like that's fine. It's cheesy, but they came up with something. But still calling it Air Bud. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
You gotta come up with something else.
Gotta
Like
milk that franchise.
slide bud or something because he has to slide on the base. I don't know.
Slide a bud. I mean, if he jumps in the air to catch it,
like I highly doubt that by changing Air Bud to another name would decrease its box office. Like I don't even know if that came out in theaters.
No, it was
that's probably direct to video. Right?
It was straight to video,
Yeah.
guys. I'm
Direct
looking
to
at it right now.
DVD.
I think the
Direct
only
to
one.
VHS.
I think the first one was the.
Yeah, that one was for sure in theaters.
Yeah.
And the first one was PG. All the other ones are G.
Yeah, because the first one was like a dude,
A dude.
like beating up on dogs. That's not nice.
No, that's you
Being
got.
abusive to dogs.
That's not cool. And that guy got his comeuppance in the end. Holy crap! I remember that. No, I'm looking at the trailer for the movie. It's like, oh my god! Like it, like this. I have a feeling this dog would hurt itself trying to catch these balls. Like it actually trying to like catch it with its mouth. Like poor Air Bud cannot play for more than a season. I'm telling you right now, without dental issues.
And it was
Without
Bud
any-
because the dog's name is Buddy, right? I think
Yes,
that's what it is.
because the dog's name is Buddy, and you can own it now on Disney DVD. I'm looking at it right now. Or watch it on Disney Plus. Anyway, thank you for that, Danny. You have now ruined all baseball movies for me. No, I'm kidding.
Can't have a list without Air
You
Bud.
can't have a list. Can't have a sports list without Air Bud and its various incarnations.
I was mentioning it before you end it. So the guy who was the abusive man to Air Bud in the movie, his name is, or was, because he did pass away in 2003. Rest in peace. His name was Michael Jeter. And this is what I mentioned to you guys earlier. He was Mr. Noodles' brother and Mr. Noodles in Sesame Street. The clown that would always was part of the Elmo segments. If any of you watched Sesame
Oh, I
Street.
remember this
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
He's also in
Jurassic
the Green
Park 3.
Mile.
He was in Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, from Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, but he's also in the Green Mile.
Mr. Brown.
Yeah, Mr. Noodle. Holy crap, bro.
Wait,
I actually didn't know he passed away.
Oh no, yeah, he
2003?
Yeah, he died. I think it was cancer, maybe.
Yeah,
Wow.
he has a posthumous after he died credit in the Polar Express.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's a thing. Yeah, freaky. What was it? DreamWorks Eyes from Chip and Dale. the freaky eyes. The uncanny valley stare. That's hilarious.
can't believe there's a baseball earbud.
There's a baseball Air Bud, dude. So if you want to watch any of the movies that we've listed,
A lot of them are on Disney.
a lot of them are on Disney. If not, you can probably rent them. Some of them are just good enough to own.
I'd
you
say
gotta own
Disney Plus loves baseball.
them. Baseball. Good. You know what? Good.
America's pastime.
America's pastime, everybody. 100-something-ish years and still going strong. If we have forgotten to mention any of your personal favorite baseball movies, definitely reach out to us. Let us know on our social media pages, on the YouTube comments, and on your podcast platform of choice. We'd love to hear anything else, or if you have fond memories of any of the movies that we mentioned, share some of those in one of our favorite cinema pastimes. We'd love to hear what you guys have. So until next time, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Catch you next time. Literally catch you next time because it's baseball.
If you build it.
They will come.
Play ball.
You're out.